We are the Keyboard Samurai, a podcast focused on sharing insights to help those working in cybersecurity companies, be them technology or services. Each session, your host, Will Klusovsky, aka Will Clue, sits down with professionals in our industry to illuminate topics that will help your security biz, team, or self be better. Let's hack into it now.
Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode. Today we are joined by Sly. Sly, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. I'm glad to be here, Will.
We'll give you 20, 30 seconds to tell us who you are and why we care.
Oh yeah, my name is Sly Gittens, owner of Tech Simplified. We help people get like beginners, people transitioning into tech, learn about AI, security, and cloud computing. Also, my day job, I work at Microsoft as a senior partner technology strategist, where I help companies build out their AI, security, and cloud computing businesses. Right. So excited to be here. And hopefully you learn a lot from this session.
Yeah, that's the point. Let's hope so. So we're chatting today about career growth and networking specifically. So, my first question to you is when we think about like what's the point of networking as far as growing your career? How does it actually apply to making sure that not just getting that first job, but they actually kind of grow and become better besides just listening to podcasts, right?
Oh yeah. So the first thing is I remember my first mentor when I was in college. He told me, your network is your net worth. I'm like, man, this is the cheesiest thing I ever heard. Right. As a tech person, I'm like, man, my grades are good. I did internships. And then I started not getting the calls. I'm like, man, why ain't I getting called back? And I'm seeing kids, other students, lower grades than me, getting jobs. They're like, oh yeah, my dad worked there, or my dad friend worked here, or I met this person over here. I'm like, man, all right. So this networking thing means more. Let me actually take a look at this, right? So network is everything when it comes to career growth. The right connections can lead to job opportunities, mentorship, partnerships, and industry insights that you wouldn't get otherwise. And it's just not about meeting people. It's about learning from them, providing them value in return. And most of my big career moves, including joining Microsoft, came from relationships that I built over time. Even me getting onto this podcast is from our relationship and me networking where we talked outside of our calls, right? Because you were my partner that I worked with. We developed a relationship and then we took it offline, right? It transcended the company now I met you at, right? So this is a perfect example of it. That's how I'm here today.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's interesting. Like I even look back at when I got out of the Marine Corps in 2007, the first job I got, I went in and interviewed with the HR person, and she said, "So you applied to this job on the website and you're here now?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's really odd." Like even that far back, like before like social media was a thing, it was still really weird to like apply for a job and get an interview that way.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember I worked at Ingram Micro when I first came in, the sales and tech parts in Buffalo. I get the job. I walk in and they, it's a new hire Tim. They're like, raise your hand if you knew someone to get here. Everyone hand went up and they say me, you got in? You got in by yourself? You from Brooklyn? You me? You must be good then. Right? Because everyone else had someone that they knew already. And I was the only one who didn't know someone, right? So
yeah, you have to do it, man. I've got buddies looking now and I've looked, and even my recent like I didn't get a single interview where I didn't know somebody. And so on that, so how do you start networking? What kind of things did you do maybe, and like what still works too? Like maybe there's some things you did and learned and that don't work and now I'm going to keep doing it this way. Like what kind of good advice on how do you get started and how do you keep it going?
Yeah, so I started networking by simply reaching out to people. So I started with people that I knew already. So when I was in school, and this was a long time ago, it was like 12 years ago, right? But I think sometimes I share these. When I was in school, I started asking my peers, man, who do you know? Right? Who are you talking to? Right? Is your parents, did they work here? I started talking with them. Then I started talking to my professors. I'm like, all right, professors, they got skills. They actually, they work in the industry. Let me get some contacts there. Then I reached out to my older brother friends, family members, started reaching out there. And then I'm like, after I exhausted all of that, because a lot of them was in fields that I didn't want to do. I'm like, well, I want to be in tech, right? So then I started joining communities. I joined, what's that one now? The University of Buffalo had the MISA, Management Information Systems Association. I was a part of the American Market Association. I was a part of a few different security. So I think it was OPSWAT certification. I went to any meetup I could possibly find, right, just to get my name out there. And a lot of times, some of those meetups didn't have anybody. I met the same people over and over, but it only took one, right? So let's say, what did I keep doing, right? Because especially now that I have a kid, I'm married with 3 kids, I can't just randomly go to things. They gotta be way more strategic. So I'm my focus is being intentional. I reach out with people with a clear purpose, whether it's to learn, collaborate, or offer help, or giving before asking. Like, I try to provide value before expecting anything in return. Like, when I spoke with you, I'm like, hey, Will, how can I help you? What can I leverage to share with you? You're like, hey, Sly, can you jump on my podcast? I'm like, all right, what you want to talk about? I'm like, well, what you want to know, right? This is what I can do, right? So before I even ask, for any mentorship or anything, I'm like, what can I give to you, right? Because I want to make sure this is a win-win situation, right? So, and then staying consistent, right? Because when I first started doing, I would see Will online before I knew him. I'm like, hey, Will, cool podcast. Never talk to him again. And then, hey, Will, I need to look for a job. I'd be like, who are you? Oh, you remember that one email, that one introduction I sent back 10 years ago? I never liked any of your posts. I never comment. Never went to anything. But I need a job. And would you put your name on the line for me? Yeah, I stopped doing that, right? I made sure that I'm LinkedIn on daily. I'm commenting. I'm trying to attend events. I'm reaching out. I'm following up after the meeting. So many times I find people who we had a great conversation and they never followed up. Mm-hmm. And then they'll see me, Sly, you never talked to me. I'm like, well, you came to me to ask for help. I ain't going to follow up with you. I got 3 kids, man. I got businesses. I got other things to do. I want to help, but you got to kind of meet me halfway, right? So just following up. And let's talk about what didn't work, right? Let me be a little bit more direct there, because I think sometimes people get on these shows and they talk, but they don't tell you what really didn't work. Transactional networking, right?
Right.
Only reaching out when I needed something, but never built a long-term relationship. Like, trying to meet everyone. I'm spreading myself too thin. Someone like myself who has the gift to gab, the hard part about that is you start talking for no reason at all. Right.
To the wrong people with the wrong topics.
Right. Like, hey, man, Will, man, what's up? I need to learn about this marketing plan over here. I'm trying to be like, Sly, I do cybersecurity. I speak to CISOs, right? Like, know who you're talking to, right? So some of the common mistakes to avoid are like, I make sure you think about is not following up, right? That's easy. That's in your control. You meet them, send them a message. Some people don't got LinkedIn. Get their email, get their phone number, whatever you can. Find them on LinkedIn, find them on Instagram, send them a message, right? So that's the main thing. And then also ignoring junior professionals. I got a whole team of young guys and girls on my team who know stuff that I don't even know, because I'm old now. I got kids. I can't go let's fumble around things like I used to before. I used to just break things and test things just to do it because I had the time. So I keep them on there because they teach me things like, Sly, we ain't using this anymore. We actually using this. I'm like, you're not using LinkedIn groups? Who uses that? I don't use that.
Right.
We don't use that. We use what's the other things called? I can't remember. GroupMe's and all these other things. And they help me talk to that, right? So, make sure you don't ignore the younger people, because I got some of my kids in high school that are crazy, right? That are doing things that I haven't seen before, right? So, and then I stopped there, right? So
yeah, no, it's great because like I made that mistake too, especially early in my career when, I would reach out to people who had the job I wanted, and I did all the right things, and I was like, well, if I connect with a bunch of VPs and a bunch of CISOs and a bunch of CEOs, that'll be great. But man, they're going to retire and they're busy. They might not have time for you. You connect to the junior analyst who's going to be a director someday, and the director who's going to be a VP and a CISO someday, and I know it sounds that sounds transactional, right? Kind of knocking somebody down to like what they can do for you. But it's really a matter of, well, who can I help? Like, what do I have to say or share that's going to benefit from somebody else? And who are those people? And then do they have the time for me? Right. Yeah. So like you said, man, find talk to people of all categories of experience, and anybody who's, a little bit close to you. It's really easy too. I was chatting with some other group the other day about sort of how we do this, and I went through I had made the same mistake you did. It's kind of how I got to this, which was the first time I got laid off. I was like, well, I have, every CISO I've ever worked with, I'm a connection to. Every company I've ever worked with, I got people, they're in my Rolodex on LinkedIn. Yep. And you go send out an email and nobody says nothing because you didn't talk to them. They connected to you. As far as you are, you're just a name in their phone book. You're not really a relationship. Yeah. And so I was like, well, that's never going to happen again. I made sure that, build and nurture that network. Like you said, provide value, give. Like, here's what I have to share. If you're interested in it, then that's, I'm here to share it for you. So the next time when you do need that thing, people know who you are and they can remember who you are. That's the worst thing, is like, who are you? Did I talk to you sometime? Maybe. All right. So mistakes, don't ignore it. What else did you say? Do you have some other things you wanted to talk about falling over, or maybe how do you maintain? Let's talk about the good things. So once you've got it, whether you're going out and finding, however you're finding those people, virtually or real life. Side note, I don't remember if this was like Gary Vee or Simon Sinek, somebody like that, some big famous person who's got like millions of followers, used to say, become locally famous, right? And like go to your local bar, your local coffee house, go to some place all the time so that everybody knows who you are. And you'll talk to people, and not everybody's good. Not everybody's okay with that, but like I've got a few places like that where, the bartenders and the wait staff, or the people working in the store, whatever it is, they know who well it is. And if they hear somebody talking about technology or about security, they're like, oh yeah, this guy comes in all the time. He does that too. I think that's another great way to do it. I
just went to the barber shop. One of the guys I went to college with, right? He's my barber, right? And every time the kids come in and they need someone, or they stuck, they don't know what to do, he sends them my way, right? Just because I'm there. And I also go to one of my favorite restaurants here. It's like a Caribbean fusion restaurants, right? And high end. And I know everyone there, from the owner to the waiting staff. I don't care if you're the busboy. I talk to everybody, right?
Yeah.
And then again, they're like, hey, Sly, this person was talking about tech and they needed this. They sent them all my things, and I just give them my cards. Like, hey, you got any cards I can give them? Here's my cards, right? So yeah, you're right. Some things that I would say to work on, right? Because we talked about what you shouldn't do. What I do is I try to keep things simple, right? Simple is easy for me, right? So keep a simple networking tracker, like a basic spreadsheet of who you connected with, when, and what did you discuss. Could be a game changer. Another thing I add on there is, what can I provide them? You might say nothing, but take a look at their LinkedIn profile. What can you do really well, right? If you could do poetry, right? You're like, man, I'm a tech guy. Well, I don't care about poetry. Maybe you could open up for them. They got an event. They need a poet. You can open up. If you can write poetry, you can definitely write. So you can even write blogs for them, right? You can learn that, right? Find something that you can provide them. I write this down all the time, right? Send small personal updates, right? Hey man, I'm like, hey Will, man, what's going on? How you doing today? You're like, hey, I got a nephew. He might need help with some tech. I'm like, cool. This is what I just created this new this training. You don't need to buy it. I already know you passed this. Here you go, right? Here's something here. I don't spam him with it, right? Just let him know so he knows what's going on, right? So that's one thing you could definitely do, like a quick check-in, sharing relevant articles, keep the people on the radar. You can even, one thing I like to do on LinkedIn and make it easy, I'm going to celebrate. If I see him, I don't care if he got a new cat on LinkedIn. I'm like, yo, man, Will, man, that cat, man, you got an orange kitty, man. I got one too. Her name is Coco, man. How you doing, right? Something so they can just remember you, right? Be organic. Don't be so transactional. If you don't know what to say, use ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Copilot, whatever your choice is. Ask them for things to respond to. I do it all the time.
But use that as a way to stimulate your brain. Don't just copy and paste it.
Yes, please don't copy and paste it, because you come up to me and say, hello, Sir Gittens. I would like to help you with I'm going to know it's ChatGPT, guys, man. So just use it to brainstorm, right? So I think those are little things you could do, If you see
That's
them
a
get a new
great hack, though,
certification,
because like I know people, like I use ChatGPT a lot for like writer's block, or just to generate or kind of like that part of it, or get like taglines and things like that to stimulate my brain. And that's good, because I think a lot of people, especially when it comes to like social media, like I know I'm a bit jaded, and I see people commenting stuff and I'm like, that's stupid, it doesn't matter. That's stupid, it doesn't matter. But I know that's just me.
yeah,
And the rest of other people feel differently. So I think by taking something like that and being like, well, something's going on, and I want to interact with this person because I want to get to know them. I need, what's the right thing to say? I think it's a great idea. Like, yeah,
correct.
go
Even
ask
sometimes
ChatGPT.
I look at it, I'm like, oh, he posts something complex again. I'm like, well, I don't know what the heck you talking about. Let me go look it up. Hey, I was gonna write this in ChatGPT. What you think? Did this matches what Will talked about? No, Sly, completely off the wall. He's talking about this. Maybe you should add this in there. I'm like, all right, I'm on about this. And I told the rate what I said, right? And then rate what I said, right? You know, all right. So he got a higher propensity to talk, right? And for those out there, I got a LinkedIn masterclass dropping, and I even created a custom GPT to help you with your introductions, right?
Oh, that's
Because
nice.
I already know you're not going to remember what I just told you, right? You won't need something to do it, right? I built this for me when I was younger, but again, please, for the love of God, just don't copy and paste it. Please just use it to spark ideas when you use it. So just something I figure I throw out there.
That's outstanding. That's great. I'd never thought of. Yeah, I don't know. I like you, the gift of gab. Like I can just talk. It doesn't always go anywhere.
Oh,
Right?
same here. That's my problem. We've been talking for 30 minutes. Wasn't we supposed to record a podcast? Right? Wait a minute. We didn't do that yet? You did?
Yeah.
Oh man, we gotta
No,
do
the
that.
number of times that we're gonna go off on a tangent. The number of times that like I end the podcast, I'm like, hang on till everything uploads, and then I have a better conversation afterwards that I
Correct.
didn't record.
It's crazy, man. So, like, guys, use the tools. Just don't make it a crutch, right? You know, just have it, challenge yourself. Think of it as your coach. That's what I like to call it. I got a coach in my pocket, right? Sometimes I still pay for coaching though, right? I got a real person, and I got this when they leave and I need some help, right? I can't call Will in the middle at 1 o'clock. I went down a rabbit hole, Will, trying to figure out this thing for the CISO. He ain't gonna answer the phone, right? So
Send an email. I'll get to it when I get to it, right?
Yeah.
No, but that's good. So, but like, you know, so somebody like us, it's easy to kind of open up and talk to. What about those who, man, I hate to just tell people who are highly introverted, nervous, don't like to just have to get over that, because that's BS.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely BS.
Anything like, what's your recommendation for those who really, are going to struggle with trying to open up like that?
100%. Oh, I got a lot of buddies like that. Is come with pre-canned questions. Think about it. Someone like me or Will likes to talk. Just ask us something that we like to talk about, right? Oh, Sly, man, I heard you got Tech Simplified out there, man. Oh, Sly, you got a new baby. What's his name? Oh, what does he do? Boom, be quiet. This is crazy. The best thing about being introverted, which I wish I had, is you don't want to talk. If you get the other person talk about themselves, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna like you anyway because they spent more time talking about themselves. It took me forever to realize that.
That's sales 101, man.
Yeah, man. I'm like the
smart,
worst. It took me like till I was
let them
25.
talk.
I'm like, why do everyone keep getting this glazed look? Oh man, I'm doing it again. I talk too much, right? So if you're not, just ask some simple questions before you come. So the one thing, if you're introverted, usually you're super detailed oriented, right? You know, I know that's an assumption I'm making. Just use ChatGPT. Hey, I'm going out. What's some questions to get the conversation started? I'm going to this network to talk to these type of people, and just ask them a question. Even if you don't care about sports, you know, I'm from Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills in the championship. You best to believe I want to talk about the Bills, you know, so ask me a question about that, right? You know, so these are the things that you can do. And again, you don't got to do too much. Just talk to them, have a quick question. You ask the question and then ask them, what's this? Remember I like to call CTA, call to action. What does that mean? So you ask me a question. Now you know you want to proceed because you're done. You're exhausted. You had me talking. Hey, Sly, can I add you on LinkedIn? Have the picture of your LinkedIn code saved, like what I do for my iPhone. It's my wallpaper. So when I go into an event, I just look at my wallpaper. They scan it. They get to my LinkedIn profile. We don't gotta talk no more. I keep it short, and then we can talk on then. Then you can go back in your element and send me messages on then there. So that's what I would do. Come like 3 or 4 pre-canned questions, get the person to talk. When it gets quiet and it gets uncomfortable, say, hey, I'd love to continue this conversation. Here's my LinkedIn profile. Can you scan it and keep it moving? Right. And
that's awesome. I keep mine as a photo, like in a certain place. And then also like Haystack's it's a free app.
Yeah.
So they'll have like you can create your own business card. And so like you can just open that app up and then like PAL QR code, and it'll actually drop your contact info if you want to share that way. Yeah. That's another good one. But I like the idea of coming with pre-canned answers, because this kind of goes into what we talked about on your podcast with like leading. One of the things I learned is for those people who are highly introverted or don't want to, you don't have to be introverted. You just maybe don't want a spotlight on you.
Yeah.
Everybody in a meeting says, well, if you have any questions afterwards, come see me. And everybody kind of thinks that that's just like generic, like something everybody says, but doesn't really mean. And they really do mean it. And a lot of times those individuals will get time to go back and think about, all right, what is it that he said? Do I have some good ideas? Yeah. And then letting them know that that's real. So I think doing that same thing in the networking process where, okay, I know I'm going to go out of my comfort zone. I'm going to go network with these people. What are some things that I need to get out of it? What do I need to be prepared to ask? Because like you said, if it is just, hey, I'm interested in this field, I'm just looking to connect with people, like very few people are going to be like, F off, go away. No. And anybody who does that anyway, you don't want to be connected with. So find the people like Sly and me that want to talk to you.
Correct. And I can even give you an example. Like I talk a lot, but I'm not a drinker that much. So sometimes when I go to the bar, I'm kind of a clam, so you might catch me in the corner on my phone. Right. So I'm just saying, sometimes you're going to have different areas where you are a superstar. Like if you catch me at work, I'm talking to everybody, but you just got to know where you at. Right. But if you bring me a Caipirinha now, a Brazilian drink, I'm going to open up a little bit more. Right. So
you can talk about Anthony Bourdain then too. You start talking about Caipirinhas. So
there you go, man. Right. So it's just, again, if you prepare a little bit, not even that much, just try a little, just go to one. I know you're going to be exhausted after. So just go in there, plan to go there for 15, 20 minutes, get in and get out, get a few names, and you won, right? If you got one contact is all you need to change your life, right? It's all you need 100%. One. If you get the right person, I got 9,000 people on LinkedIn. Can I call 9,000 people? Probably not. I don't know, half of them are probably, right? So I say that to say is if you have 50 people that that's your tribe, that might be all you need. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's awesome, Sly. So you mentioned the Tech Simplified. Where can people find you on the interwebs? And it'll be down in the description too.
So go to LinkedIn, of course. Just type in Sly Gittens. I'm the only one who pops up. You can also go to SIMP.com. You can find all my stuff by Tech Simplified, and we got trainings. We got a lot of study guides. I got a ton of free content on my YouTube channel. I think we just hit 60K of followers. Sweet. And also, if you want to learn from leaders, I got a podcast called Women in Tech Podcast with me, where I interview CEOs. People who sold companies, engineers, marketing people, the whole gamut, right? And these amazing ladies share their stories and what they overcame. I think you'll find a lot from there too.
Outstanding, Sly. Great chatting with you, man. Thanks for coming.
See ya. Peace.
Thanks for enjoying Keyboard Samurai Podcast. If you'd like to engage, find Will on LinkedIn at /WillClue or visit at willclue.me. That's WILKLU.me for more info. Disconnecting now. Synac you later.